Hello Capricorn and welcome to my channel GreenLion Goddess Tarot. This is your fortnightly reading for July the 16th through to the 31st. So lots happening in this fortnight, especially in your fellow earth sign Taurus. There is a big conjunction between Mars, Uranus and the North Node, which is going to bring a big activated change, which is activating the end of this month, the start of August. So it's kind of got an eclipse-like energy that's coming through. What I get is this energy of this sense of you turning in a whole heap of different directions looking for something. And then there's this sudden realization that what it is that you're searching for is inside of you. And this is where, this idea emerges, or the realization emerges up inside of you. We have beautiful Mr. Star here. So the message I get is I prosper wherever I turn, and listening to the messages that occur within your body and understanding that some of your thoughts may be leading you in a different direction, but the thoughts can be adaptable and can change, and that thought, that idea that's inside of you is there and it will emerge at the right time. So that is, it feels like a big shift. Oh, I can see a kookaburra flying towards me, and we can see lovely Mr. Star basking in the sun. So there's actually all these very positive omens around in your reading, actually, Capricorn, and you might notice some things in terms of animals and the lifting of your spirits once this comes in, this realization, which is going to be really great. We've got 8 of crystals, dedication and progress. Beautiful. I love this beautiful buffalo. Just moving forward, it's just this beautiful, big sense of slow and steady progress moving forward and dedicated to it. So I think it's almost like you want to find this thing that you're dedicating yourself to, and once you get it and understand what that is, or this person or situation, whatever it is, that's when you can feel really grounded and feel like, right, I'm moving forward into an area that I'm really, really happy with, and I feel like I'm building upon or building towards something that I'm really enjoying. So the 8 of crystals, is the equivalent of the 8 of pentacles. So this could be a lot to do with your work, or something that you're wanting to put a lot of work into or have been working on. So I kind of get, for a lot of you, this is very career orientated, but it doesn't have to necessarily be so. It might be something very different that you've been working towards at this moment in time. So let's see what else is happening. Star's like, there's a little patch of sun on the carpet on the floor, and he's like, I'm going to go get myself really comfortable. And look who turned out, Devil, Saturn, Capricorn, Mars. So I actually feel like this is really, I sometimes think, you guys get a bit of a raw deal getting the Devil as your card. And so I'm like, this has to be there has to be good things about this Devil energy, the fact it's Capricorn. And that's what I love about it, because both of these cards remind me very Capricornish energy. I love how you've come out. You've come out super strong. You've come out as ambitious. So this is something ambitious that you're working on and you're striving to move towards, which it feels slow and steady, but it actually feels really good. So I'm getting a lot of, building things, building new structures in your life with this Devil energy. I actually feel like the Devil energy is actually very positive in this reading because it's your card. So I'm not getting a lot of, I'm not getting a lot of negativity with the Devil, but it can represent areas in your life where you felt really stuck. So you're probably going to get really motivated to move out of that at this moment in time. There are big decisions, or a big decision coming in, potentially around the direction that you're heading with your work, or something that you're working on, especially if this has got anything to do with a relationship. Crossed by the 2 of Cups, it feels like you're being crossed by love at this moment in time, or a particular relationship. Potentially there's someone standing in your way, or a big decision to come in around a relationship at this moment in time. And I feel like this is potentially wanting to get the best for everybody, and so you are considering the other person as well, but in the end of the day you have to kind of be thinking of yourself as well. So the Strength card. So Capricorn, I just want to let you know that this reading is for Capricorn. A lot of Capricorn coming in with the 4 of Pentacles, Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising. And I always recommend to watch all 3 of your placements if you know where they are, because they give you more holistic view of what's going on for you. And Capricorn, this is, oh, you've got the Ace of Swords. This is a general reading. So just take what feels right and leave the rest. And if it does really resonate or you want to explore this further, there will be an extended reading. And the link for that will be in the description box below. Decision time. Okay. With the King of Swords, there is a big decision pending. Oh, okay. And I actually want to pull one more for you. The Six of Swords. Fantastic. And the Queen of Wands. Okay, you're being very discerning about what it is that you want at this moment in time. And making progress against things that are blocked you, but getting ambitious. So I do feel like this has got both relationship edge to it, plus also it's got career destination or direction happening with this as well, work and career. So let's see. Situation is the Lovers. As you know, the Lovers represent soulmate energies in your life, but it could also represent a big choice that's coming through. And it is crossed by the Two of Cups, which represents love and relationships. So we kind of have discussed that. And this can be that it feels like that there is a big decision to be made. And it's almost like normally you would be making this decision really considering the other person. But it's sort of like... So there's a big rebalancing that's coming in. There's a big alchemical shift that's coming through with this. And it's like you need to make this decision for you is the important thing that's coming in. And it almost feels like there's something that's calling you at this moment in time, or at least it will be in the near future with the Judgment card, it's hard to say because I feel like there's potential love with this other person, or there's some good feeling, good vibes with this other person. It doesn't have to be a love relationship. It doesn't have to be, it can be a work friend. It can be family. It can be anything like that, friends. But it's like, it feels like they're, for whatever reason, blocking you. They're sort of in your way, standing in your way. And I think it's because potentially you don't want to hurt them, or potentially this decision is something that is going to challenge the balance of your relationship in some way. So it feels like, this is taking some deep consideration, and that's where you've looked at a whole heap of different angles, and then finally you come to the decision that this is the right thing. And like I said, it's right for you. So we have the Strength card in your conscious mind, and this is where perhaps you have to be strong in this situation. You have to be strong for the other person as well. That can be coming through. It does require a lot of courage to make this decision. And it is potentially where you're going and heading to from here is going to require a lot of resilience as well. And that's why I love this. I mean, this is why we've got this beautiful buffalo, which is such a magnificent creature. It's just like, I'm head first into this. You know, I have the resilience, the dedication to make the progress that's needed here. So, boom, absolutely. And I think that this is a big, big decision for you, Capricorn. So at the base, you got the Four of Pentacles, and sometimes the devil does represent fear, some fears that are coming up. So to be aware of that, what sort of fearful thoughts you might have around this, because the Four of Pentacles is a card of Capricorn. So that's good that that's happening. You're coming in super strong as like at the forefront of some of all this consideration. But the Four of Pentacles can be, what are you holding on to too tightly for fear of letting go? It's sort of like there's a comfort zone here, but a part of you knows that you can't remain in that comfort zone. So the Four of Pentacles is also where you could be wanting to save money. You've got some savings, and maybe this is something that is a consideration about what you're doing with this money or how it's being used, especially when you've got, potentially somebody else that you have had to consider or normally would consider. So interesting. And those dynamics can play out so many different ways. And you know, if you are single, this may be, the Two of Cups may be just what other people are expecting you to do. So maybe it's like you have to tell a family member or somebody, a best friend or somebody like that, that you're doing this thing, and you're worried that they may not approve of it as well, or that this is something so different to what they're expecting you to do, so outside of some sort of norm. In the recent past, you got the Five of Pentacles. So this is where this is possibly the thing that has no longer resonated, or that there's been a sense of just being a little bit left out in the cold. With the Five of Pentacles, it can be worry, fear, feeling like something's lacking. It can be worry and fear around money as well, or just if it's about a relationship, it just feels like there's been something that has, it's kind of felt like something's been lacking, but this can be for both of you. So if you've both been worried about something, and this is almost like you've got to take it into your own hands as well. So interestingly, this is what happens is the Judgment card. This is that sense of what I was getting, that you were like looking all different angles and directions for the answer, for the direction, and then it comes up and emerges from inside of yourself. It feels like that, at least. But the Judgment card is a message from the angels. It's a message from spirit. You can see that trumpet. It's heralding a new era, a new energy, a new cycle that you're about to step into. So it's potentially giving something a second chance. The Judgment energy can mean that. But I feel like there's a huge assessment of where you're at this moment, a big evaluation. Because the Judgment card, and they're kind of showing me this, is that ultimately it's the energy of you're about to step into a whole new energy, like a rebirth of sorts. But imagine you have like, this is the energy, and it's not saying anything literal about this, but it's like you've died and you're in that evaluation. You've met God or the maker or spirit, however you want to believe, whatever you want to believe in. It's just this is just like the metaphorical energy of the Judgment card. And so you've met God and you're evaluating your life, and this is where you're at with the Judgment energy. How did you go? How are things going? Because there's something that's come up here with the Five of Pentacles, which has felt like it hasn't felt like it was going well at all. For whatever reason, there was just something missing, or it just was no longer resonating. So it's this, that's why it's called judgment. You're quite literally judging where you're at or how you've been in that lifetime, in the past, leading up to this moment. And then it's a sense of absolving yourself of those judgments, letting it go, and being able to move up into heaven, or move up to wherever you believe like the next stage is. So it's a rebirth energy. And for whatever reason, they're showing this to me. We don't always discuss this with the Judgment energy, but it's a sense of being able to move beyond judgments and beyond that sense of evaluating and move into the next phase. So that feels really important. And it's actually interesting. We've got the angel coming in as well, which is you're presenting as the angel, which is why it feels like the message is coming from inside of you here. The angel is there with the Judgment card, heralding this new era, this new energy that you're stepping into. But this is you, the Temperance energy, which is patient, slow, steady, all in moderation, dipping your toe back in with something. Are you going to give something a second chance, or is this a whole new thing that you're moving into here? Things start to flow, between your emotions and messages from spirit. So you're getting that loud and clear. The Temperance is an alignment. You are aligning to something that feels more like you, that is healthier for you. So this is actually, you're aligning to a healthy boundary in your life and reestablishing that. So yeah, the Temperance energy means that whilst you're doing that, new paths and new solutions and new avenues are opening up for you. So yeah, it is an alchemical shift, but it does require patience. And in your energy around you, you've got the Ace of Swords. So there's clarity here. Absolutely, there's the gift of clarity. There's a really fabulous new idea that's coming in. That's the thing I'm seeing emerging up and out. So it's like, boom, I see it clearly now. I've got this great new thought, great idea, whatever it is with the Ace of Swords. So listen to that. I feel like it comes up from inside your body up into your mind. So it becomes really, really clear. So listen to that. The Ace of Swords can mean new contracts as well around you. So that can be coming through that for some of you, that there's new work contracts or new contracts around work. Hopes and fears, you've got the Knight of Cups. This is usually a nice energy of being able to follow your heart. But sometimes this could be that usually you'd like to follow your heart, but this is actually your head making the decision here. And this is where, like I said, your heart would normally be considering this other person, but your head is actually the one going, well, yes, but this needs to be a rational decision that comes in here. So it's interesting. It's kind of interesting. I think it's head. Sometimes we get it the other way around, but for this time, I think that it's very much because look at these element of air coming in, the King of Air, the King of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. So the King of Swords is the sense of you've had this idea, it's come up and emerged, and now you're taking action. You're making a decision here, or you're announcing something, you're taking action with that idea or thought or the moment of clarity that's come through with you. And it is with this Three of Pentacles, it's something that I feel like it's moving into making this decision is going to be good for your self-worth for a start. The Three of Pentacles is that you're using your gifts and abilities and it is like a master builder energy. They're building a cathedral here and it's something of great beauty. It's something that requires a lot of skill and mastery. So you're using your skill and mastery to make some decisions. This can be great negotiation skills that could be coming through here for some of you. And then the Six of Swords is being able to move on from the issue, from the turbulence and find peace within a situation. So that's actually, a really, really positive energy that's coming through here. So the Six of Swords can represent making a big move as well. It does represent travel and moving. So it could be, it's interesting because there's no other cards around here of moving other than there's a lot to do with your work. So that's why this Ace of Swords could be something that's moving and shifting with your work. You might be moving jobs, moving on to a new project, moving location, moving offices, maybe making a big career with your move with your career. So however, or work, that's a big thing that's coming through as well. Sometimes the Three of Pentacles represent study, like studying and learning something that you're upskilling. But I kind of feel more it's like you're using your skills to make this really fantastic decision here to be able to move on. So that's why I like this Queen of Wands here, because the Queen of Wands energy is very discerning. She knows it's this internal energy of knowing what I want. You've had this moment of clarity that's come through, and it's like she's very discerning, the Queen of Wands energy. She knows how to get what she wants. Very optimistic as well, a little bit more optimistic, but very warm. Even though it's interesting, we've got hot and cold. So we've got the Queen of Wands, which is there's a lot of warmth potentially for this other person. But at the end of the day, you need to be the King of Swords, which is the rational, logical energy, enacting some kind of justice as well, bringing in fairness. And it is very much, there's a hot and cold energy, but internally there's the warmth. But externally there's the rational decision. So it's kind of interesting. I feel like there's a difference between what people are seeing externally for you as opposed to what's happening internally, because internally you do have this warmth and compassion and attraction, and you do have that inner glow. But for other people, some people may not know it's there, or they may not be seeing it with that King of Swords energy. It feels fairly detached, like you've detached yourself from it. You've had to detach to make a decision here. And so, yeah, it's interesting because this reading is probably, it's coming off like just after the full moon in Capricorn. So it would have been that there was something that came up in that full moon that reached a culmination point for you, that was something deeply personal to you, that you're now making some big changes in your life around. So yeah, that's what's coming through. And it feels like a big, important sense of honoring what it is that you need and what you think is best for the situation, even if the other person can't see it, or even if this is a hard decision to be making as well. So, but it feels like a good decision, and it feels like it's going to propel you forward into building and making something of great value and beauty in your world. So that's the important thing as well. So let's pull an affirmation card for you, Capricorn, and we've got my future is glorious. I like this, and it can actually be where you're shifting your perception as well on how you're seeing your future at this point. My future is glorious, or this is at least what the universe wants you to affirm. I now live in limitless love, light, and joy. All is well in my world. So yeah, beautiful. It feels like you're rising up out of a sort of very stuck situation. And it says, I trust the process of life. There is a rhythm and flow to life, and I am part of it. This is you being the rhythm and flow with the the Temperance energy. Life supports me and brings to me only good and positive experiences. I trust the process of life to bring me my highest good. And that word trust is a really, really important word within this, because it's like you have to make this big decision and you have to trust yourself that this is the right decision, despite the fact that your heart might be saying something else, despite the fact that yes, somebody else may not understand this, but it really is trusting yourself with this. And we've also got the peace energy. If any of you have Taurus in your chart, or you're cross-watching for a Taurus, you might want to watch that reading as well. Very similar energies coming through. So yeah, interesting. And I think it's because there's a lot of energy happening in the earth signs with the Capricorn full moon mid-July, and then we've got this big conjunction that's happening in the sign of Taurus. There's just a lot happening for you guys. And this energy actually is going to be trining you or conjuncting you, depending on what's going on for you. So I think it's going to have this positive effect. It's, in a way, I feel like it's slower and surer and steadier for the earth signs, as opposed to some of the other signs that are kind of dealing with a little bit more turbulence with this. So you've got the peace sign, which the Six of Swords is moving towards peace. And so the peace sign is definitely the same thing, moving towards peace. But it also represents, it always looks like two legs, somebody standing on their own 2 feet. And so this is a very independent decision that you're making here. And it's about, quite literally, you need to stand on your own 2 feet with this decision. And the decision may be around that. It may be around independence within a relationship as well. So that can be coming through, or just feeling more independent in life. So yeah, that's it, Capricorn. I'm going to take it over to the extended reading now. We're going to see what's coming in the near future and the future beyond, because we've got the calling. You've heeded the message, you've heard the message, and now you've made this decision. You've been able to make this big move or move on, and let's see where it's all going after this. So let's see where it's going, because all the other signs that I've kind of worked with already, it's been a little bit of an interesting ride there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of interesting, even volatile energy around end of July, mid-August. So, but the earth signs, I think, are going to have a bit of an easier ride of it. So I feel let's have a look at where this is going, what other energies are coming through, what other energies are supporting this, what other opportunities or people are coming in, or challenges. How can you work with this energy? What's the best way to get optimum results? We'll ask about that as well as just scratching beneath the surface. Is there anything that you need to know about that isn't being presented in this reading? And we're just going to look further into the whole thing, deeper and further into the future. So that's all in the extended reading. Love it if you come over. The link is in the description box below, and I usually pin the links to the comments as well. And if this is where we're leaving each other, Capricorn, please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. And take care.